brand new computer. Whoa. Uh-oh. So here we are making a secondary video. I'm going to erase the first video. I was just basically wiping some dust off my brand new Acer computer I got on Black Friday, which was like sometime in November, earlier last month. So we're going to try and roly-poly the toilet paper again. So we're going to find a little edge here. We don't really need to have a nice straight edge now because we're using tape. With glue, maybe you can, but with the tape, you don't really need it. So I found that this tape is much more handy than glue. Because with glue, the drips stick together, and they'll hold the tissue paper in the wrong direction. So let's just move backwards a little bit here. This is an old chair. This chair's gonna eventually tip over and break my neck, but oh geez. I guess we can do it this way. Once again, make it nice and tight. Tight like a joint. This is kind of too heavy now to well, maybe just put it there. Put it there for now, and just keep on roly-polying it. I have more crafting videos. I'm crafting some sticks, some sticks I'm gonna sneak into the Nikukan. Not sure I can't. That's just breaking protocol. I use the sticks myself for my own smudging. Then I guess they have to be willow sticks and they have to be spiritually blessed by some elder to make it to activate it. It's like activating your code every time you plug in the internet. You activate a new activation code or activate something for the first time, kind of thing. So I've started to get on JPay again and start to write to my prison pen pal Douglas Armstrong. He was suffering from lots of childhood abuses, sexual abuses, and all this other crazy stuff that has left him really psychotic. So, but he's also stunted his educational enlightenment growth. And he became an alcoholic. But the thing is, the evil thing is, however, he shanked a Latino man in the alleyway in very, very gory ways, and he also killed a maid in the state over, someplace in Texas or maybe so. So yeah, he's not going anywhere for a while. So I write to him. He seems like a pretty decent guy. His vocabulary, of course, is understandably substandard, but that's okay because given the circumstances. Oh, these plied toilet paper are not tight like quilted, or not like they're just two strings, and not like attached to each other. Okay. I was wondering why I had all these little itty bitty bits of string here, or itty bitty threads here. Oh, I hear some tearing, so careful. Just loosen that up a bit over there. Let me put this here. There we go. Loosen that up. It's too heavy. It's just too heavy to start rolling. So, other than that, I just got a few more assignments to do. I'm involved in a research project called inclusion-based project to see if we can practice or experiment with a protocol of implementing this kind of procedure for other students in the future to implement their ideas to improve the functionality of a post-secondary institution, aka how those more aggressive students, the more ambitious students do things around the college to make sure it to make sure it to make sure it runs properly. It makes ultimately, it's our home for the next schools, post-secondary school, universities. Your home for the next 4 years. If you're living there, all the greater. If you're living there on campus, all the greater. Or if you're lucky enough to find housing, and then turn it into your home away from home. This is. But I highly suggest you guys not do that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with living with family. This is the Asian culture. This is the Asian way. Family, the generations of families, Indians, Chinese, etc. We all have the clanal system, and you Scots and you Irish, you white people, you still have that clanal system too. The Clan Duncan MacLeod from the Highlanders, that kind of thing, that sort of idea. So you guys should integrate more into your families. But it's the American way. To be independent and an independent adult too. So there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with finding your own place, your own space in the universe. I plan to do that when I get my master's degree. I plan to go abroad. At least one semester, go abroad, find out, see other people, see other cultures, eat their cuisine, engage in some cultural thing. Perhaps music and dance. Perhaps I go and help set up a Mayfair pole or something. Ancient culture. So yeah, this is one of the many crafts we're able to do to just spend some time rolling roly-poly. The Calgary Flames, or Calgary Stampeders, I'm wearing a Flame shirt, by the way. Calgary Stampeders have won the Stanley Cup this year, or Grey Cup this year. So they're planning an expansion for Halifax, but maybe it's too late because this year, not many people were interested in the Grey Cup at all. A lot of in the last minute, lots of Grey Cup were sold. Grey Cup tickets were sold because the Edmonton fans wanted to see Calgary lose against Ottawa, but that wasn't going to happen. Bo Levi Mitchell, however, I think he should leave Calgary. Not to say that I'm ungrateful for all his hard work and all the pain he suffered to get us the cup, but he's young. He's young. That's his home. He's gonna get homesick. I don't want to get homesick, but ultimately that's his. Ultimately he's young. He still has a dream to play in the NFL, and he should go for it. Go for his dreams. And I hope he does win the Super Bowl for 18. I would really like to follow his career once he's there. I want to see how far he goes. Other players of the Calgary Stampeders was The Rock. Unfortunately, The Rock decided to pick wrestling and movie acting over football, which is understandable because you get paid more. You get paid more as a wrestler, and it's also the family tradition. His father was a wrestler in the 70s. Rocky Johnson or something. Rocky Miravia or Rocky something. But he did play for the Stamps, so he was also cut from the team, but that's okay. I mean, at least he got to play. And wrestling, the world of wrestling was also. Calgary was the mecca of wrestling training because of the Hart Brothers production. You could consider the Hart Brothers production the farm league of wrestling. This is where they learn the acting, the safety skills, the acrobatic skills. When Eddie Guerrero's jumping upside down, kicking someone in the head. Oh, Eddie, he died. He was a beautiful human being. He had a beautiful body. It was just right. That's not too fat, not too big, just right. And yeah. I like wrestlers who are just right. I like wrestlers who are mortal because it shows fatsos like me that we have a. This is when I was a kid. I saw a big boss man, or say I see Dusty Rhodes, and say, oh my God, you can still be a big guy, like a roly poly guy, and still be a good fighter. Or Sammo Hung. Sammo Hung is also called Fei Zai, which means fat boy in Hong Kong, in Cantonese. He filmed the film here in Calgary, or Edmonton, called Paper Marriage. Paper marriage means that you're only married on paper, basically, mostly to enter the country. And the premise was the American family. They want a citizenship to America, so they want to get married. The Hong Konger family just wants to get married, and it ends up to be embroiled in some sinister, some kind of weird sinister plot. So as you can see, is that this transfer roll is starting to get thicker. And the social innovation project that I'm doing is to make voodoo, to see if we can install some voodoo facilities. Some voodoo facilities at the Bow Valley College as it moves forward to introduce more students from the Muslim world who are coming here to learn English through being refugees or just immigration, through immigration and for the adventure of starting life again in another country, or starting life again in another country, or or just starting over. It's basic, just doing as God commanded. Spread ourselves, spread our genes, spread ourselves to other parts of the world to increases our survivability too. Just in case the whole world gets hit by some plague or some natural disaster, some aliens or zombies invade, and we start all over again. This to also increase the probability of the survivability of your own culture by integrating it into other cultures and having other people appreciate it. It's sort of like you're showing your gifts to the world. You're ambassadors for your culture, kind of thing. So in that way, they're required to perform. They're required to perform a ritual ritual washing, especially of the feet, before they begin their daytime prayers. Particularly the afternoon, morning. Well, morning they do at home, but afternoon prayers and afternoon and noontime prayers. So, and there are only 2 facilities for voodoo in Calgary. Or not Calgary, but at the Bow Valley College. So the idea is to try and increase the number of them to be used, so more students can quickly voodoo instead of having to wait for it. Voodoo and go, kind of thing. Voodoo and you perform the voodoo instead of having to wait for it. Sometimes they voodoo in the sink, which is very, very dangerous because you're lifting your leg up to the counter of the sink with your foot into a sink. So you have to kind of maneuver your foot into the sink while hippity hopping on your other foot. So therefore you can lose your balance. Maybe you sprained your ankle that day a few days ago, and then you have less mobility. So those are some concerns that we have for voodoo. I am not Muslim, but I am not Islamic, but I do appreciate the needs of my fellow BVC students. Again, it's all about improving and making some modifications to needs, to address the needs. And the Canadian government applied these needs, research grants to officially make a protocol to help learn how to implement ideas, initiatives. Of course, everyone knows how to do this if everyone has a brain, but this is the official codification uh, sociology experiment to find more effective ways of doing things. But adults usually are. I mean, I'm in multiple class. I'm in a club over at over. Involved in two clubs: the Addictions Recovery Club, because I'm in the Addiction Studies program, and the Addiction Studies program, and and I'm also involved in the ASOR program. So lots of programs there. I used to get myself a BBC college t-shirt, one of those college sweaters or college shirts. I got a couple from volunteering though. I should wear them a couple times during the summer semester. Then it's off to Athabasca University for correspondence in addiction or social work, because they are the ones who accept my social workism, whereas U of C won't. I'm assuming Mount Royal won't. U of C won't. But I'm hoping that Athabasca University will accept my 30 credits of 2 years, 30 credits of prior learning in the fields of in the human service field, and then I can go to USC through the back door and become a dino, a raptor, dino. That's the UFC's team. The collegiate varsity team is the Dinos, whereas Edmonton are called the Golden Bears. Our evil rivals, the Golden Bears, the Butterdome, which butter is not supposed to be synonymous with working out, but nevertheless, the Butterdome is what the gym is called over at the UFC. And I'm not going to the U of A, I'm afraid not. Not to say I hate Edmonton. Edmonton's a wonderful city. No, it's a good city. I mean, it's a city. Cities are supposed to be medium crime because of the people, and afford amenities to the people who live in it, so they can invent things that eventually trickle off to the rural world, to make the rural people living in the rural world more comfortable as they grow food for us. We invent the technology, they invent the food. We invent the food for the technology too, but we invent all the piping machines and stuff, because that's what a city's supposed to be. Cities are supposed to be business industrial sectors of the industrial economic centers of a culture, and it's like a town but on steroids. So a town is supposed to be like a community where it's supposed to be the hub of major activities, and individually each house used to be on farmland too. I mean, until more people moved in. That's a sad thing too. I mean, but I think the core of this. I think the downtown core should have more, more dense population, more people, apartments. I like houses myself. It's something homely, something comfortable about a house, something nurturing, But of course, a house takes up a lot of space. Fits like maybe 4 people nowadays. You have to add additional rooms in the basement or something to get a bigger house for larger families. And you have a little bit of a backyard, basically, or a medium-sized backyard for your own personal garden. But a city takes up lots of space. Or house takes up most of the space. Well, the same block of land, you can, or two houses, you can fit like maybe 30 people in an apartment. So speaking of houses, I'm not sure how long this house will last. But I know I'm going to get a house of my own when I move out. Plus, the negative of the house is that you have to pay, that you the land title holder, the freeholder, needs to pay off higher bracket income housing mortgage, or not mortgage, but housing tax, which is just $2,000 a year maybe. Incremented, divided into two installments half a year, or and that goes to the city indemnities such as water, electricity, to subsidize other things the city needs, like city civic beautification. Calgary's getting there. We're becoming a larger city. We're getting there. So a few more strips, maybe. Maybe a few more strips to keep this miniaturized roll. My back is starting to feel very tender because I'm sleeping on a bed, a nice relaxing bed, with the more hardened half of it. The other half of it was the side that was falling apart. The springs were much weak, giving me a really painful backache. So I switched it over. I had to switch over to the more harder side of the bed. I'm going to spring some more. I'm going to spend a bit more on getting one of those really crazy ass space beds or something weird. Because these spring beds really suck. They can only last 10 years. 10 years before you get a new one. It's cheaper, of course, but like I mean, it only costs like 90. If you get it from King Coil, which I suggest you don't, because they'll rip you off. That's why I'm sounding so weak today. Is because I spent half the night on the wrong side of the wrong edge of the bed, whereas I switched it over in the middle of the night to the nice half, these two stronger coils, but it won't last. It won't last. Let me give another tail roll here. Okay, that should be enough. Move this aside. I'm done with that. But the old saying, waste not, want not. Et voila. There. So this is 2 stickies of tape and a roll of goo. Thank you for watching the Gogogen. Thank you for watching the strange art project of Gogogen and like experimental videos by Gogogen. I promise you there'll be more. There'll be less weird shit like me showering and me rolling these things, and more other crafts that I do around the house. There's some backlog videos of other projects I've done when I used to have hair a few years ago when I used to have hair. At least 2 summers ago, I'm so backlogged with it from there. Uh, that back really. Feeling much more excitable. I had a nice plate of spaghetti for lunch, so got to go back to my studying and got to fill out some assignments, and hopefully by 7 o'clock tonight I'll be able to just watch hockey with a free mind, a free conscience, do some extra last minute final studying, and then that'll be it. That'll be it for now. But thank you for watching the Kiko Golden episode. Yeah.